Sit down, Major Mandrake.
What's the gun for, John River?
Don't mind the weapon. I love all weapons, but just as late I've taken to keeping a loaded one nearby me at all times.
Sort of like a new hobby, huh?
That's correct, Major. See, you have your radio. Isn't that against my orders for all on-base personnel?
Oh, no, sir, this isn't my radio. I just picked it up at the communication center.
I didn't mean for you to play anybody else's radio either, Major.
Yes, sir. Can I ask a question?
Certainly, Major. You're a good officer. You can ask me a question anytime you like.
Well, sir, we're on the condition red, aren't we?
That's correct, Major.
Yes. And a condition red means that an enemy attack is in progress, doesn't it?
You know the regulations well, Major.
Well, sir, I was wondering that if we're on a condition red, then how come the radio is still playing music? It should be turned off and all we should hear is civil defense broadcast.
That's a good question. I bet if you thought long and hard about it, you can come up with your own answer.
Well, sir, I was thinking that maybe an enemy attack is not in progress.
And if that were true?
Then why have you issued the order wing attack plan R?
Because I thought it proper. Why else do you think I would do it?
But then that means that you're starting a war.
And if that were the case?
That would be an awful thing to do, sir.
Perhaps, Major, perhaps. Pour me a scotch and soda and help yourself to whatever you like. And don't fret about it. Besides, there's nothing anybody can do about it anyways. I'm the only one who knows the three-letter code for the CRM-114.
I know that, sir.
We've come a long way since World War II, and the lessons we learned are all in Plan R.
I suppose they are.
You're damn right they are.
How much soda, sir?
Just a squirt.
That about right?
Perfect, Major, perfect. Let's drink a toast.
What should we drink to?
Peace on earth.
General Ripper, can I ask another question?
Ask away, Major.
Well, sir, I was thinking that, why are you doing this? I mean, why do you want to start the war?
Because I thought it proper. Why else don't you think I'd do it? Thought long and hard about this.
No, I'm not saying that you didn't think long and hard about this.
Do you remember what Clemenceau said about war?
No, sir, I'm not sure I remember.
He said that war was too important a matter to be left in the hands of generals.
I see.
And if he had said that 50 years ago, he might have been right. But as of now, war is too important a matter to be left in the hands of politicians. Do you follow, Major?
I'm trying to, sir.
You see, as we sit and chat at this very moment, decisions being made by the president of the war room. He knows that my planes will be picked up on the enemy's radar in about 20 minutes.
Yes, but when they do, won't they hit back with everything they've got?
Certainly, we haven't taken any further actions. Do you happen to remember the casualty statistics in the event of a full-scale enemy attack?
I remember reading that report. Wasn't it something like 160 million?
That's close enough, Major.
Yes, but why would you want to kill 160 million of our own people?
You're being dense, Major. I certainly don't want to kill so many of our own people, and neither does the president. If he was to order a missile attack on their enemies' airfields, missiles, and bases,
I suppose we catch him off their guard.
our missiles would impact before my planes were even discovered, wouldn't they?
I guess so.
I know so, Major. I know so. And added to that, the whole air command force being committed to clobber everything they've got.
But even then, we wouldn't get everything. I mean, some missiles would abort, or they'd miss their target, or the enemy would have some secret bases that we don't know about.
You're absolutely right. You forgot to mention their nuclear subs. Sure, we wouldn't get off with getting our hair mussed, but we'd prevail. I bet we wouldn't lose more than 50 million tops.
But if you just let things alone, we wouldn't lose anyone.
Major Mandrake, I guess you don't follow what's going on too closely, do you?
Where, sir?
Where? Everywhere, Major, everywhere. Have you read much about the disarmament talks?
I mean, they've been going on for quite some time and they haven't got us anyplace.
Not yet, Major, not yet.
And I suppose they won't until they let us inspect inside their country.
You're very naive, Major. Don't they say they want a disarmament?
Yes, sir, but so do we.
But we mean it because we're a peace-loving country. Are they a peace-loving country, Major?
I don't know, sir, but I know they're just as anxious to avoid nuclear war as we are. War just doesn't make sense anymore, not for anyone.
But war doesn't make sense precisely because the weapon can kill an entire country, right, Major?
Right.
Then don't they see that the weapon brings us peace, not war? And if that's the case, I ask you, why did they want a disarmament?
Like I said, sir, for the same reasons we do. All the experts say that the most likely way for war to start nowadays is by accident or mistake or by some mentally unbalanced.
Go on, Major.
I was just going to say that as long as these weapons exist, then something is going to happen. And when it does, that'll be it for both countries.
I've heard the argument. It says, like Napoleon said, there's only one thing you can't do with a bayonet, and that is sit on it.
That's right, sir. And remember, in a few years, the other countries are going to have this the bomb. And what if they start something?
Go on, Major, you fascinate me.
Well, I remember an example that said that if a system were safe on 99.99% of the days of the year, then given average luck, that system would fail within 30 years.
I still ask you, why did they say they wanted disarmament?
For the same reasons we do, sir, don't you see?
No, Major, I don't see. They have no regard for human life. They wouldn't care if they lost their entire country as long as they won.
Gee, sir, that last statement doesn't exactly make all the sense in the world.
You're sounding like one of them.
No, sir, no, honestly.
Don't be offended. Our president holds many of the same views.
Don't you think he knows something about this?
I tell you what I do think. I think if they say they're for disarmament, then anyone who says they're for disarmament is either a traitor or a damn fool.
No, sir, we're on our toes, and we haven't agreed to anything for years, and in fact, a lot of people say we never will.
But if they suddenly opened up and gave us the inspections we wanted, we'd agree, right?
I suppose if they gave us what we think we need, then yes.
And you'd like to see that?
Sir, what's good enough for the president and all the experts he's got working on this thing is good enough for me.
Do you think we cheat?
No, sir, I'm sure we wouldn't.
Do you think they cheat?
Sir, I'm no expert on the subject, but I've read some pretty sharp ideas that the big boys have. Like, say, both countries agreeing to $1 million reward and international protection for anyone who gives evidence of cheating to the inspectors. Now, you can't hide that without a lot of people knowing about it, and I'm not going to depend on the fact that some poor slob is going to run and blab for $1 million. Now, we're just as smart as they are, and if they cheat or even withhold information, we pull right out.
Major, I hate to say this, but I think you've been enemy indoctrinated and you don't even realize it.